Welcome to the Courage Barbell Unlimited podcast with your host, legendary powerlifter and strength athlete, Chad Ikes. For most, the journey of strength starts in the gym, but should inevitably expand through all aspects of life. Join us as we discuss all things strength. Now, here's your host, Chad Ikes.
So this is an episode of the quotes. It's going to be the first one where I'm shooting video. I'm going to try to get it up on YouTube. And I was laughing when this started because I'm like, I think I have a video intro that I can use. Or do I just stare at the camera while the audio video is playing and make faces or something? I'll work that all out in the end. Hopefully you guys enjoy the fact that I'm willing to just go for this and jump in and then try to progress and get better and better as I go. And hopefully you guys see that. Hopefully you guys see that improvement. So since this might be the first one on YouTube, I wanted to kind of talk about why I started this quotes episodes. I wanted something that was kind of short that people could listen to maybe on the way to work or the way home or on a lunch break or something. But I'm really big on thought. And I think one of the biggest things that strength training helped me with in terms of in my life was that it got me thinking more, and it got me to go, wait a minute, if I want to be good at lifting, I need to fix these other things in my life. And I need to look at my life in the same way I look at lifting. And I think that ended up helping my lifting and my life. And I'm very big on there's knowledge and there's intelligence. Knowledge just means you know a lot of shit. Intelligence means you know how to put that knowledge into play and use it. And if I was going to say which one would I rather have, I'd rather have intelligence. Even if I don't have the knowledge, if I have enough intelligence, I can figure it out. I've done that a lot in my life, like with kind of going off-road, whether it be with a dirt bike or a quad. You get yourself in situations, and sometimes you don't know how to get out, and you got to figure that out. And that's fun, and I did the same thing in strength training because I had some issues that other people didn't have. And when you do make it to the point where you're on top, you're in new territory. Like, no one's been there. You can't ask someone how to squat 1,300 pounds when no one's done it. You got to figure it out on your own. And that takes intelligence. And that also, I think intelligence breeds belief in yourself. I think the more times you find yourself in a situation where you don't know, but you have the intelligence to work through it, I think that builds belief in yourself and positivity. So what I wanted to do with these quotes is I see all these quotes come through on my Instagram, and I try to repost a lot of the stuff that I like on my story or whatever. Sometimes I do some of my own quotes too, just because I think they're cool. And for me, I'll read a quote, and it's not just in and out. Like, I'll read a quote, and for the next couple of days, I'll be thinking about that quote and breaking it down and looking deeper into it. And that's all just part of thinking. That's part of intelligence. That's part of not just going, oh, well, that was a cool quote, but actually going, wait a minute, it is a cool quote. Why do I think it's a cool quote? What's so cool about it? It's training. It's training for your mind. Tonight, I have a Leonardo Da Vinci quote. So let's just get into it. And this quote is kind of what I just talked about. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. Learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets. Totally love this quote. First of all, Leonardo da Vinci was a crazy intelligent guy. And if you want to go down the alien route, which I happen to love, there's some questions of if he was visited by ETs or not, which I think is an interesting thing in itself. But the quote, I mean, really, if you stop and think about it, I love strength. But even when I was at the top, I knew that there's going to be a point where it's going to diminish. There's going to be a point in my life where I'm no longer trying to get stronger, but just trying to hold on to what I can for as long as I can. I mean, when I'm 80 years old, it's going to be in the best shape and be the strongest 80-year-old I can be, knowing that that's going to be nowhere near what I was when I was 37. And I'm okay with that. That's part of life. But the point is that things come and go. And eventually you're going to get older. Eventually your looks are not going to be the same. Your skin's going to start getting wrinkly and it's going to start getting a little loose. And all these other things are going to happen. You're not going to have the energy you did. As the more we go through life, our mentality and mindsets change quite a bit. But the one thing you can do no matter what happens in your life is learn. You can gain intelligence and increase your intelligence, minus some bad stuff that could happen as you get older. But studies have shown that the more you keep trying to learn, the better you're going to age, the better your mind's going to stay. So I think this is really true. And I think it's something that we really need to focus on and continue to train. Just like as I get older, I'm going to continue to train, even though I can't bench 800 pounds right now. I'm not going to be able to bench 800 the rest of my life. I'm not going to be able to bench 700. It's going to gradually keep decreasing. Right now where I'm at, I can gain some strength from where I'm at, but there's going to be that point. It doesn't mean I stop training. Oh, well, I can't gain no more. I'm not going to train. No, I'm going to continue to train. I like training. It's good for my body. It's good for my mind. It's good for everything. Well, learning is the same kind of thing. And like I said, there's studies that show learning is good for your brain. So I want to keep learning my whole life, even if I do start having some mental issues as I get older. The more I keep learning, the slower that's going to happen and the longer I can push it off. So learning is something that you can never exhaust it. You can always learn something. You can always learn something new. Hell, if you forget something, you can relearn it. You're still learning. And most people don't fear learning. There's no reason to fear learning. It's not like, oh, that's so hard. Oh, that's going to stress me out. Oh, I've never heard of anyone being afraid of learning. Some people don't like to read. I'm not a huge fan of reading. If there's a documentary, I'd much rather watch a documentary about it than read a book about it. I'm much better with articles than books. But there's no fear to it. It's like, oh God, I don't want to do, that's going to be really hard. That's going to be really heavy. Or, that's going to make my nose bleed, my eyes bleed. You're just learning. It's easy. So nobody fears it. And I don't think anyone's ever regretted learning something. The more intelligent you get, the better your life's going to be. I mean, I think that in the world of strength, the more intelligence you gain, the better you're going to be able to fix things, change things, get stronger faster. The more intelligent you get, the better your relationships are going to be. The more intelligent you get, the better you're going to be able to do with your money. The more intelligent you get, the better it's going to help a business if you have that, or the further you're going to be able to go in your career. The more intelligent you get, the better parent you're going to be, the better human you're going to be. Like, how could you regret any of that? Like, learning is a no-brainer. It's kind of a pun. You want to learn. You should want to learn all the time. You should always want to learn and expand your mind. If you don't do that, you stay in the same place. You repeat the same processes. You never actually progress. And life is all about progressing. It's about learning. It's about understanding. I remember being on job sites when I was young, and I never wanted to be outworked. So I would hustle. If I saw somebody carrying 4 2x4s, I was going to carry 12. If I saw somebody wheeling a compressor, I was going to pick it up and run with it. I always wanted to outwork everybody. But it was funny because there was a time where I would be like, yeah, I'm going to outwork those guys. And I'd be on a job site, probably framing with my brother or something. And at the end of the day, I'm like, man, I busted my ass. And I look over, and this old dude who I thought wasn't working very hard did more work than I did. And I kind of thought, wait a minute, that's messed up. But it taught me that, like, there's working hard and there's working efficiently. And working hard is great, but I want to work hard and be efficient. Like, why would you want just one when you can do both? And then if the time comes that you can't work as hard, you still get a lot done because you're efficient. So that was an interesting lesson for me throughout my life. So learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, never regrets. Leonardo Da Vinci. So think about that one in the next day or two. Think about how much effort you actually put into learning yourself. It's pretty easy because we have a lot of time throughout the day, especially with modern technology, that we just do things to numb our brain. Where in that instance, you could be thinking about something. You could be learning about something. Expanding your mind about something.
Thanks for listening to the Courage Barbell Unlimited podcast. For more information, please visit CourageBarbell.com. Until next time.